All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about, I would say, to me at least, the surprise hit of the year so far. The HBO Max, um, not miniseries, just HBO Max new series, post-apocalyptic, based on a video game, starring everybody's favorite Spaniard, Pedro Pascal, and Bella Ramsey, and that is The Last of Us. Corey, why don't you talk about The Last of Us for a bit?
I mean, as most of you guys do know by now, it's based off the PlayStation game. But it tells the tale of Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey's characters, Joel and Ellie, as they make their way across the apocalyptic United States in order to try to transport Ellie to scientists in order to create a vaccine for the zombie apocalypse. Did I get that about right?
Yes, that is the gist of it. But really, this is a show about how humans are awful.
Yes,
and
and
faced with unimaginable evil, humans will do unimaginable evil, and that is really the plot of every zombie movie. If anybody's ever watched a zombie movie before,
it's just, to me, it's just like watching this. I'm like, this is what The Walking Dead wanted to be.
Like, I think this is what people thought The Walking Dead was too. That's the thing.
I think so too.
About it, is I think maybe that's why not good. And
maybe that's why this is so popular, Chad. Because it's like people who watched The Walking Dead was like
was amazing too.
That first season,
massive.
That first season was very good.
It was big. It was the biggest show on TV for like 5
Long
of
time.
the 11 years that it was on TV, which is insane to me that it was on for 11 years. It just ended. You know that, right?
And I didn't make it. I know, it's crazy. And I didn't make it past season 2.
Well, you shouldn't have made it, like, nobody should have made it past, like, the 5th episode of the first episode where they were like, actually, the same thing's happening over and over again. Weird. Every hour is exactly the same.
I did love that pilot, though, when they were just in, like, downtown Atlanta. I'm like, this was a very cool, like, just so massive of a budget for this one scene. It was awesome. But
to me, The Walking Dead, and then we will stop talking. We will talk about a much better zombie show.
A much better zombie show, yes.
To me, The Walking Dead was always like Lost to me, where Lost was an amazing pilot and then sort of had no idea where it was going after that, which became abundantly clear like 4 episodes into the television show. And it was the same for The Walking Dead, which is like, I will say this. I've never read The Walking Dead comic book. Everyone says it's way better than the show.
It is, because the pacing's better. Because it's 100 issues of a comic. It goes by pretty fucking quickly if you want to sit down and read.
Yeah, even like how many episodes are there of The Walking Dead? There's 177.
What?
There's 11 seasons, Corey.
There's more episodes than issues. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. And not only that, there's like 3 spin-offs now. So it's a mess. Let's talk about The Last of Us, though.
Yes, a very well done zombie movie. Because you know why it's so well done? Because it fucking stayed small. It stayed small and it stayed tight, and the 2 main actors are so fucking good and they have such great chemistry. It just works. And when you can just transport these 2 consistent characters and give them both, and I like how quick the show is, because every episode's character development for both of them, and you keep on putting them with different groups of people and different storylines, it just kind of makes it better and better. And I haven't played the video game. I played actually the first. I realized by episode 2 that I'm like, I stopped playing this video game really early, didn't I? And that was because I got scared. And I admit that, and I managed to admit it, that I got scared in those damn sewers and those damn vampires, those damn zombies kept killing me, and I was having a bad time.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever played it either. So we're probably the last 2 people on planet Earth that haven't played The Last of Us, because the sales exploded after the first couple episodes came out.
I do want to wait for the season to be over before actually playing the game.
Well, that's the other thing. Is it sounds like, from my friends who have played the game, the show is very faithful to it thus far, which worries me. Not worries me, but has 2 main problems with it. One, if I did, like, I am interested in playing the game. It's been one of those things that's been like on my list for a bit, and I just haven't ever gotten around to it. But now, if I play the game, it will then spoil the show.
That's true.
And 2, famously, everyone who played the game like hates the second story, like the thing that happens in the second story. There's a thing that's coming up. I don't know what it is, so I can't spoil it. I literally don't know. Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, there's something that happens either in the next, and if the show stays open to it, will be in the next few seasons that everyone despises. So.
I think people blew it out of proportion about why they didn't like it so much. And I did watch bits and pieces of it because my roommate has played both of them. But not to the point if he still kind of forgets like what happens, honestly. And I think in the most recent episode, I'm like, how long were they there? He was like, they were there, but I mean, this episode, obviously.
Yeah,
the
they're
episode where they're in
expanding
the
on way
town.
more stuff.
Yeah, especially because that scene, I was like, you have to move. Also, let's just move to that random ass town, Jay. Let's just move to fucking Wyoming in this random ass.
I don't want to be in Wyoming.
I don't know Wyoming, but
that version of
if I
Wyoming
was-
that's like weirdly diverse is okay, maybe. But
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
going to
really
fucking white
diverse
people Wyoming in 2023.
I was like, what's this fucking thing? Diego Luna was in it. I'm like, hey, there's that guy. I haven't seen him in a while. Like, didn't recognize him with the mustache and long hair, but that was cool.
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, what'd I say?
Gabrielle.
Diego?
I was like, Diego Luna. It's not,
What else has he been in besides Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I don't know. Never mind.
He's the... Oh, fuck. You keep
I
talking,
know
I'll
him.
look it up.
I know him as Ghost Rider. That's why I know him. And I'm like,
That's
oh,
right.
cool,
He's in
it's
the
Ghost-
fucking Terminator Dark Fate movie.
Oh, yeah, he was in that. Oh, that movie, yeah.
He's the Terminator.
He is the Terminator in the Terminator. I liked him as the Terminator, but like it's not really a hard acting role.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I think this show is really connected with people because of the things that it's expanded upon. Famously, the Bill and Frank episode is like I think most people's favorite episode, and those characters, like you said, are not big parts of the game at all. That's the Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett episode,
which is basically just a very nice short film that they decided to just drop into.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart way to structure your show because you get
so too.
You do sort of get breaks in between the harrowing nature of the Joel and Ellie story. Although I will say personally, I'm far less interested in the show when it's not Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey on the screen. I mean, the Nick Offerman Murray Bartlett episode was good, but I just think Pedro Pascal is maybe the best thing that's on TV right now, and I just want to be around and be hanging out with him. That's why this next episode I'm not interested. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do a flashback
I like
episode
Bella.
without him.
I like Bella, but holy shit,
she's great. She's great.
But holy shit, what a way to fucking end it! And they'd be like, "This is a flashback episode." I'm like, I'm assuming he'll be
He's
fine.
not fucking dead. There's
Absolutely
no way they
not.
killed
But
Pedro
I'm
Pascal in the 5th episode of their television.
But I'm just like, come on, like come on, don't just leave me like that. Like, just imagine this fucking HBO rules. We have no idea what The Last of Us is gonna go like.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. If
back in the Wild West of Game of Thrones days, it would be like, oh shit, did Pedro just fucking die?
If he was a slightly less famous actor, I might have believed it more. I will say, for people who didn't notice this, I would love everybody to go back and maybe I'll drop a clip of the YouTube channel for viewers. Go check out the scene right at the end. Pedro Pascal dies. Bella Ramsey's kneeling over his body. It's zooming away from him. And in the background is the horse they were riding. And that horse is fake. It's not moving. It's very weird. The horse is stationary. It's so creepy. I'm like, I honestly, it took me so far out of the scene. I was like almost losing my mind because I was watching it with people.
I didn't notice it.
Which the other thing I really love about this show is that I just really want shows that are. We talked about this with Game of Thrones.
This is such a good show to watch with other people. This is such a good show.
I just love collective culture. I love being able to talk about stuff because nobody wants to talk about shrinking with me or like any other random television. Nobody wants to talk about Mayor of Kingstown, Corey. Why won't anybody talk about Mayor of Kingstown with me?
No one has Paramount Plus.
Get Paramount Plus, people, and watch Mayor of Kingstown.
I was surprised people in my office that were like talking about Last of Us, like to the point where like I missed an episode. I'm like, oh, people are like talking about the nerd thing before I even watched it. Like this is weird for me.
I was at this is the thing that's most surprising about the show is how popular it's been. And I was at a dinner with a group of people of my age, but all very white women. And the things that they were big into at the moment and talking about, can you guess what the two things were? Because I bet you can.
Well, one of them was guessing Last of Us.
One of them was Last of Us, and what was the other thing? It was the Hogwarts Legacy video game.
That makes sense.
And I was like, these bunch of white women are talking about fucking zombie
games.
Television and video games.
Video game TV show and a video game. This is
Two of them said they'd never played a video game before. So, and I wish I should have asked them because these were also two single women, so presumably don't live with anybody that has a video game console. Did they go and buy to play Hogwarts? I wish I'd asked.
You had to have bought a PlayStation.
Commitment.
You had to have bought a new system to play Hogwarts or had a gaming computer. There was no other way.
Maybe they're walking around with an Alienware laptop and I don't even know. These like 90-pound
just dunking on them, man. You don't even know, Chet.
They got the NVIDIA 3080.
But it's like funny with this show though, because it's like also I feel like the timing of it also worked very well because the show's so much about isolationism and how alien people can become to one another when they're just separated. and when we're like put like in different communities, and either we can just choose to come together, or we could just choose to isolate ourselves and look out for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think it does such a much better job as like a character study, which is so interesting coming from what was a video game, which relied mostly on action and storytelling, obviously, but like action. But this TV show itself is like, there will probably be like one action set piece an episode, but it's like so like quick and like efficient that it's like not even the point of the show, honestly.
I will say I don't particularly care for the action in this show. I think when there's two characters in a room talking, it's much more interesting.
Absolutely.
That's why I found the Kathleen episode and the ending of that episode was just not for me. I thought that zombie shit was like kind of poorly structured and a little bit boring. And I found the Kathleen character to be unimaginably terribly written.
That was horrible, but I do like that actress though, and I'm like,
I love Melanie Lisinski. She's gonna. I'm really excited for her. Oh my God, Yellow Jackets to return. She's great in that. She's kind of great in like everything I've ever seen her in. She's even good in this role, but this character is nonsense.
Shout out to Over the Garden Wall. Just very random. She's in Over the Garden Wall as the bird. It's very good. She voices a bird. I'm like, I know that voice from somewhere. Then I'm like, oh, you're the little bird who. And they're like, oh, you're horrible in this, and you just said fuck. Weird for my brain.
It is, but that character, even that character is like a staple in zombie movies. Who's somebody who's so blinded by hate or revenge or something that they're willing to die. Which is, she literally kills herself to then shoot a child. It's so crazy.
Man, Karens be crazy, bro.
I know, but
Apocalypse Karens from Kansas City.
I don't think it's like of any benefit to this podcast or myself to like talk about the problems I have with the show. I do think that is like the worst moment of
and I think and it's funny like
her characters.
And I think I don't disagree with you there. And I think but to me though it's the worst thing about the show. Even that was just like, that's fine. And I didn't even like, that's like probably like even my point, if I can find a criticism, it would be about that. But I did like that zombie just from like a way they shot it, and at least like the whole setup that went behind the surprise zombie thing. But it's kind of disappointing a bit where you're like, the tenseness.
Not a surprise to her. She should have fucking done something about it.
Fucking idiot, man. But like, it was like leopards ate my face was that scene. But like, just like the whole talking.
Being like, don't tell anybody about this thing that destroyed the entire world. Just keep it on the shush shush. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I was like, that's a later problem. Like, no, ma'am, that is a current
this is
problem.
The problem. This is the only problem.
You need to worry about this. But like, even like there's a tense moment, I'm like, yo, how the fuck did I get out of this? And then the ground just explodes, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. There's zombies, and I'm like, oh, this might be a pretty cool video game level to be like a sniper rifle while Ellie's done. Like, that sounds fun. And then then the murder suicide scene.
Yeah, so that again really like
that's 2 murder suicides. Blew
people's brains out the back of their head.
Oh, come on, Jay. Jesus.
But I guess. It's just like a thing that's happened in every zombie movie ever. Somebody has to kill their loved one when they turn into a zombie.
Doesn't make it easier.
Which one do you think upset people more? This man killing his brother and then himself, or when Will Smith choked the dog in I Am
the dog. The
yeah,
dog is...
What's wrong with people?
But the dog scene was so sad.
2 black men die and nobody gives a shit.
But it was, you know...
I love. Did you see the news that they're making a sequel?
Yes.
And they're just going to pretend that ending didn't happen.
We're going with the alternate ending, Chase. Shut up.
I love it.
Also, we're adding Michael B. Jordan. Fuck it. I'm like, yeah, no, great. Absolutely. You take my fucking money. I don't give a shit. Like, fuck it.
I do just love being like, all right, you guys can't go and rewatch the movie because the end that you're gonna see on Netflix or wherever that movie's available is not gonna be the one that has anything to do with the film.
Question. I guess we're kind of just doing Last of Us now, but question about I Am Legend. Do you think when HBO puts I Am Legend back on, it'll just be like, change the ending? They'll just like slide in the alternate ending?
I think what they'll do is release like a director's cut. If that doesn't already exist.
They did, like, I think at least you can see the alternate ending.
Yeah, you can see it on YouTube.
I've seen the alternate,
yes. And it was on the DVD, extras, famously, all this stuff. But I think they will release a director's cut or something, or definitive cut, whatever we're going to call it.
Director's
cut. That's the real ending now.
Just changes the ending. Doesn't do anything else.
I mean, I think so, right?
That's what I would. I mean, the ending in the first one fucking sucked. I remember being mad about the ending. It's like stupid as shit. He just kills himself for no reason. It fucking makes no sense.
Complete nonsense.
That movie is nonsense.
One of the last good movies Will Smith ever made, and it's like
he acts his ass off in that movie. God.
there was a time where every big actor had to do one of these. Had to do a Castaway, had to do a The Martian, had to do an I Am Legend, where it's just them with a volleyball or a dog in a movie or potatoes for 2 hours.
And Pedro Pascal is Bella Ramsey, so it's like the same thing.
No, Pedro Pascal has Baby Yoda. He's already done. He's already run this gambit.
This is what he did. He just. What's the third? I think everything comes in threes. Like, what's the next thing he used to train? I guess he did transport Nicolas Cage places. Does that count?
No, I'm sorry. I know you really, really want to include Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent in the canon, the Pedro Pascal canon, but I feel like it maybe doesn't get it.
Still one of my favorite roles that he's done, though. Still
it's
one of my
great.
favorite
It
roles.
is great. It is great.
We should get I want a Swiss Army Man with Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac, where Oscar Isaac plays Daniel Radcliffe's body role. I'm going to call the Daniels up. Do you think they would do this?
I think the Daniels would hang up on you.
Stay with me.
Faster than you can say Swiss Army Man 2.
But no, nothing else to say about Last of Us for me.
I mean, either. Is it worth for a thing that seems to be very much based on quite a popular thing for us to predict what's coming? Since neither of us know, should we try to say what's coming? Because I mean, Pedro Pascal's definitely not dead, but I don't know how he's not dead.
I don't know how he's not dead either. I mean, like, I'm assuming someone has to come find them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the Fireflies are going to come and find them.
Somebody has to come find him because he's also a grown man and she is not a child technically, but she has the weight of a child.
Yeah, how old is she supposed to be? So Bella Ramsey is 19
assuming like
in real life.
I'm assuming
like
like
14. To be about that?
Okay, I think like 13, 14. Yeah, just like I think she's supposed to be a teenager.
She doesn't. I mean, again, I always say this every time we talk about a child actor. I'm not actually clear what a 19-year-old looks like, but I didn't think it looked like Bella Ramsey. I would have guessed 13.
Well, if you want to look it up, though, look up Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend, who's 19, and Bella Ramsey's also 19. So there you go.
Oh, poor Leonardo DiCaprio. Just trying to fuck around, have a little bit of fun. Everyone's ruining his game.
Let's go to break.